So thank you for here today. I'm Anusha Kamraj along with my colleague Etna Jose and Akaral. Here we are going to talk to you about sustainable consumer practices in India and Kazakhstan. So I think many of them may hear the word sustainability. So what is sustainability? Simply to put it, sustainability is a capacity to endure or to continue. If the product is sustainable, it can be repeated, reused, or recycled in any other way because it has not exhausted all the energy or capacity that it's all energy or resource required to create it. In another way, sustainability is meeting our own need without compromising the resource for future generation. So now coming on to sustainable fashion. So sustainable fashion is creating a fashionable goods like clothes, shoes, and all fashion goods in sustainable manner, that is eco-friendly manner. Many brands are now manufacturing the sustainable products, but not all brands are manufacturing. Mm, so our economy is like demand and supply. We consumers are not demanding for sustainable product, so the manufacturing of sustainable products is obviously low. So we consumer have to demand for sustainable product. So the manufacturers also will manufacture more sustainable fashion. Sustainable products, and maybe in near future we can see the change. So um, we took interviews among three generations from people in India and Kazakhstan. So India is almost home for 1/6 of world's population, and is it when it comes to sustainability, I can say it is in middle of transformation. Is in India is also India is a land of Mahatma Gandhi. It is not new to the peoples of India because before independence, we used to wear a lot of eco-friendly clothes. Many thinkers and leaders propagate the idea of Swadeshi, using organic fabric for making attire. And when I come to Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan is not so strongly developed in sustainable practices, but younger generation is already familiar with that. But adult generation is more conservative among the world because they are not accepting the fact of sustainability in their country. Now it's turn for Edna Jose. You can carry.
Okay. Hi, my name is
Turn on your microphone, please.
Okay, hi, my name is Etna. I'm gonna talk about the three generations, the characters of three generations based on five genre, that is definition of sustainability, information seeking, consumer behavior and practices, and COVID pandemic and brand. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, first I'm gonna talk about Generation Z. Generation Z are the youngest and most modern generation. They are very adaptive to changes. They tend to change with the world, and this generation is fighting for sustainability. Not only turning away the unsustainable products, but also they are willing to pay more for sustainable products. Generation Z wants what their parents want, that is millennials, such as choices, quality, convenience, but as the Generation Z are digital natives, they have they have their own expectations on how they want their products to be, and they are close from being to the green generation because they, like I said, they are an adaptive generation. They likes to change. Next is millennials, and millennials covers the largest portion of the world population. The generation is born between 1981 to 1996. Millennials are self-sufficient, so they seek information from internet, feedback, friends, etc. Compared to all other generation, millennials shops more. So in other words, they control what stays in the market and what should, because they are the biggest consumers. And also they are trying to accept more greener products and sustainable products. That's a huge impact of Generation Z, because They are actually getting inspired by Generation Z, and they're starting to accept more greener products. Next is baby boomers. Yeah, baby boomers represent the 76 billion people from born between 1946 to 64. They are identified as the most environmental conscious and richest generation. Baby boomers have risen above the millennials and Generation Z when it comes to the quality of green items purchased. And due to this pandemic, they realized the importance of using home products more than foreign products. Uh, yeah, because like after a pandemic, there's so many things got stopped and everything. So they started accepting more home products because yeah, it was a right choice at that moment, and they started liking it. And when it comes to the brand loyalty, baby boomers is very strong. They possess a very strong brand loyalty. They do not tend to change their brand just like that, because obviously they believe that and they're comfortable in whatever brand they're using for a longer time. Next. Yeah, when we asked the definition of sustainability, the responses we got from Generation Z, what they think when the word sustainability comes into their mind is like they imagine can be used for years. Millennials see sustainability as a movement which encourages friendly production to achieve ecological integrity and social justice. They describe sustainability as recyclable, useful, and eco-friendly products. Baby boomers tend to favor imagery showing the direct impact of environmental issues on people, animals, and nature. They have more bought in individual actions such as recycling and eliminating single-use plastics and in non-profit community groups. Next slide, Anu. Yeah, about information seeking. When it comes to Generation Z, 60% of them use search engines such as internet, Google, social media, Instagram, Facebook, this and that, and everything. 40% uses YouTube, because mostly every brand nowadays they publish their ads and everything in YouTube's as well as in every other social medias. They prefer seeing that. And when it comes to millennials, they 40% use search engines. Yeah, definitely, and 20% use only social medias, and 20% use like talking to friends, like get together, they just know by talking which brand are they using, which is good, which is not, like that. And 20% feedbacks. Yeah, for the feedbacks of other consumers, what they get, they write it in the feed box, and they try to read that and assess the product by the feedbacks only. And when it comes to baby boomers, 90% search engines, 96% search engines, and that is like talking to, like in internet, they like search, and by other means, by friends and all stuff. But social media, 44%, that is like Facebook only, because this baby boomer generation is not popular among the social media. But yes, 4% of them are there. So yeah, thank you. I'm gonna pass on to Anu.
So now coming to consumer practices and behavior among people in India and Kazakhstan, mm, we asked some questions among the peoples. So here are some of the sustainable initiatives carried out by three generations in their daily lifestyles, like using cloth bags instead of plastic bags, recycling the trash, saving water, light, gas, etc. And wearing, most of them are wearing clothes made of eco-friendly material, and many of them are not throwing their old clothes. Instead, they are restitching and restyle the old clothes, or they are donating to orphanage. And some were using used to walk to nearby places. Instead of using bicycles or motorbikes. Now coming to vintage and second store. These are the stores which are emerging now, and many we asked about
this stores among three generations, and Gen Z were not, Gen Z know about the stores, but they are not willing to buy clothes there. And millennials are know about the stores, but they don't want to try the clothes. Don't want to try the clothes in second-hand shops. I personally interviewed personally interviewed a person from India. He said he considers such unhygienic one. So it's in mind of people that they consider second-hand clothes as an unhygienic one, and used clothes. And when it comes to baby boomers, they're only somewhere aware of these tools, because it's emerging now only, and many of them are not know about that vintage and second-hand stores. And we asked the question like, how many of them willing to pay for sustainable product? Do you willing to pay for sustainable products? And many generation users are willing to pay for sustainable products when compared to millennials and baby boomers. And baby boomers are not willing to pay for sustainable products. These are the graph of the three generations. Akadal, it's your turn.
Yes, thank you very much. I will speak about the COVID-19 pandemic, about the brands, sustainable brands, and the general conclusion. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. Well, baby boomers, the current pandemic has had an especially devastating effect on the baby boomers, especially in fashion space, but also in general. Many realize the importance of not depending on importing too much and value of prioritizing local products. What about millennials? The pandemic has made healthier and environment conscious, making them to shift to sustainable products. The whole situation is about how much we care about the earth, and a lot of millennials started to change the profession, or started to find another exit, like freelance or outsource. And what about the Generation Z? The Generation Z is working people, students, and school children spend most of their time online. The nature of the people's leisure activities has also changed. Next slide. Yes, thank you. About the brands. Well, Generation Z, in terms of brand choice, Generation Z seemed the most reasonable in my opinion, as the younger generation chooses sustainable brands, both local and foreign. About the baby boomers generation, when choosing a brand, look at the characteristics of the products. They prefer natural products, natural fabrics, organic products, and the brands is not of paramount importance of them. And about the millennials used to do a research on the brand motto before they make a purchase. They pay attention to transparency of the brand. They look at the aim of the brand, the mission and vision of the brand. And of course, they prefer both local tailoring and the global brands. Next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. Sustainable brands. Well, there's a lot of sustainable brands that world knows, and especially in India, that world knows too, such as H&M's, are Indian Terrain, and others. But also, we didn't mention about the Kazakhstan, because Kazakhstan is on the way. We are a young country, but we are started to develop more. We have sustainable brands such as Shakan Suits, OU Dresses, Roxwear, Experimentarium Concept Store, the 20 store, the XXX store, Alibek store, and others. And this is only fashion part. Well, about the other brands, we have such as the companies such as Amiran, Foodmaster, Bayan Sulura, Hut, and others. it's only the few about the Kazakhstan, few brands that are well known. Well, also we have a fund for sustainable development and support of entrepreneurship holds an annual contest, Altın Oymak, in conjunction with the Eurasian Fashion Week, where Kazakh designers shows their collections of natural fabrics, silk, cotton, linen, cashmere, and other slide, the next slide. Yeah, well, the general conclusion. Gen Z, Generation Z, in the opinion of younger generation, the concept of the quality of the life of all the people living in the planet is the most important thing. About the millennials, according to people in the Middle Ages, sustainable development has become more and more of a global topic in recent years. It's more like a direction, and it is like a development. And about the baby boomers, according to people of the older generation, the socio-economic development of the society in the 20th century, mainly focused on rapid economic growth, has generated and caused great harm to the natural environment. And of course, I will speak about the general conclusion that we did. So during the interviews with the people from different generations, it was interesting to find common and different views on sustainable development in India, Kazakhstan, and in the world. There was a general consensus that action must be taken to preserve the climate. Emissions of greenhouse gases have changed the composition of our atmosphere. All inhabitants of our planet feel the consequences from the rising average and extreme temperatures to changes in precipitation patterns and unpredictable natural disasters. Water management is also very important. Water scarcity affects over 40% of the world's population, and this percentage is only increasing as the population grows. Agriculture is also mandatory, and all the spheres. Well, the consumption of resources and products by the younger generation as whole does not follow the principles of sustainability and sensible consumption, which is not the case for the older generation. For the older generation, whose upbringing, the education did not take place under the conditions of technological process, there is still reasonable consumption towards electricity, water, nature, gas, and heat. The older generation used mostly natural products, wore clothes made from natural fabrics, shoes made from natural leather, as I said before. Therefore, people of the older generation are more inclined to save money, to recycle goods, to consume resources wisely. The younger generation is characterized by acceptance of everything new, but in theory and the practice, they want to buy more and more things, to dress fashionably, varied, not to think about the future, but to think about the present. Sustainable development should be fostered in every family, kindergarten, school, university, and college. Thank you for your attention.